Hello, my name is Sameer Somal. I love CFA Institute and am your friend in getting through the CFA program. This is video 2 in a series focused on CFA Level 1. Some of you may have been studying for a few months, perhaps not as much as you want. Many of you recognize you really need to buckle down and work as hard and efficiently as possible over the next 90 days in order to clear this rigorous 240 question exam. And a few of you are listening may even be ahead of the game and are smiling right now. If I had 3 months to go before the December or June exam, this is how I would approach it. I've broken this video down into 8 key points of reference so that you study and work effectively with the right mindset. I chose not to dive into specific topics and learning objectives of the curriculum because this is an area saturated with content and great advice from CFA Institute and study review courses. I want this video to remain as timeless as possible. What I'm about to share has helped ensure that many Level 1 candidates pass for the first time. I've also received feedback from candidates who applied these tips to pass on their second or third try, and then move on with confidence to complete Level 2 or 3. So if you didn't clear the exam the first time, this video is definitely for you. CFA Level 1 is 240 independent questions. You will not necessarily receive a passing score for reading the CFA curriculum books twice or so thoroughly that you memorize every word of the curriculum. I have heard from candidates who didn't clear the exam say, "But Sameer, I really understood the material in each book. I memorized and could explain almost all the learning objectives." Just knowing the learning objectives and reading the books does not correlate to being able to apply the knowledge to individual questions. Understanding the content conceptually is important, but being able to recall from memory specific details and apply that information within each study discipline is ultimately going to determine your success. I have known people that could write essays on these exams and even teach others some of the concepts, but they didn't pass because they didn't spend enough time committing the details to memory. Number 2, diversify your studying. You may be most effective by applying several different study techniques rather than just following a mandate routine. If you have 6 hours to study, don't simply read the books for 6 hours because it may be hard for you to retain the information. It's important to apply how you've been effective at learning in the past. Each person is different. I learn from application of information, repetition, speaking notes out loud, writing, and then rewriting key concepts. As a result, my study pattern was oftentimes quite different from other candidates who simply read the books. Number 3, take notes on all subjects and then retake or rewrite notes on your notes. Make sure you review your notes. Then rewrite shorter versions of these notes with the information you still don't understand thoroughly. Then revisit all your notes and read over and over and over again. I know many candidates that didn't pass who made notes from the CFA books or their study class books and then never reviewed them or only skimmed them. As a result, they didn't know the content by heart. Number 4, start doing practice exams now. Not next month, not after thinking, I will do that after I get through one more or several of the sections. I can't tell you how many times I hear people say, I just have 1 or 2 more of the books and then I'll do the practice exams. Begin right now. I started doing practice exams 6 months before the Level 1 exam. I also bought and acquired as many exams as I could. I would do an exam, then review the answers the next day, then retake that same exam, not the following week, but a month later. Then take it again, perhaps 6 weeks later. I must emphasize the importance of studying the material and committing real time to the questions you get wrong. One mistake I've seen many candidates make is they become laser focused on finishing the CFA books and leave little or no time at the end for the practice exams. Number 5, create index card books with facts you don't know and material you struggle with, including formulas. For example, at the end of the CFA book chapters or even your study guide chapters, there are practice questions. When you get a question wrong, commit that question to a space on an index card. Let's apply this practice to a practice question provided by CFA Institute. An analyst suspects that a particular company's US GAAP financial statements may require some adjustments because the company uses take-or-pay contracts. The most likely effect of the appropriate adjustment would be an increase in that company's A, return on assets, B, debt to equity ratio, C, interest coverage ratio. If I got this question wrong while studying, I would put this question or factoid on side 1 of the index card by writing, a company uses US GAAP financials that require adjustments from take-or-pay contracts. Blank will increase when adjustments are made. On the other side of the card, I would put the answer, debt to equity ratio. I may also put an explanation like assets and liabilities both increase, which raises debt to equity ratio, but not return on assets. Number 6, find an online and in-person study friend. It was amazing how much faster I was able to learn new material and reinforce the concepts I only knew perhaps 70% as well as I should because I studied with other people. Odds are your new study friend or friends have different strengths than you. This will make reviewing the same exam that you both just took to practice that much easier and perhaps even fun. Please don't make the excuse that you don't know anyone. Visit one of the many CFA candidate forums online, search LinkedIn, and perhaps the most underrated option that will also lay the groundwork for networking and future opportunities, contact your local CFA society. Number 7, notify your friends, family, and where appropriate, your colleagues and your employer of your studying. Thank them for their support in advance. If your spouse, boyfriend, or girlfriend loves you as much as they should, they will be an asset in your commitment to becoming a CFA charter holder. This will also make it easier for you to say no to a happy hour and pass on gatherings you would have normally attended. By letting your close friends and loved ones know ahead of time, you can simply remind them of your focus and commitment to the pending exam, and not feel pressure to say yes when your heart and mind are really with the CFA Level 1. Number 8, don't get overwhelmed by the depth and breadth of the content. Everyone who's studied and passed this exam did it one day at a time. You can and will too. So make sure every night when you sleep, you're able to say you gave the time to the exam. I even had a piece of paper next to my bed, and I put a little tick down almost every night before I went to sleep. I only put the tick when I'd put in the quality time I planned for. Another last point, I don't work well when I'm tired, so I would go to sleep early and skip the studying late so I could wake up and focus with my full attention. Make sure when you say you studied for 3 hours, it was 3 intense and productive hours. Studying for the CFA exams is a real commitment and requires a ton of energy. Make sure when you put the time in, you are as productive as possible. Stay tuned for the next video in this CFA Level 1 series, where I'm going to focus on exam week and strategies for a successful exam day.